Nice to have you back. So, how are you today? Great. I'm also feeling fabulous. Thanks for asking. So, today, what was it again? Just remind me. Right, yes, the personality assessment. Of course. So I've just got your notes here, and should we just begin? Are you ready? Are you comfortable? You need a drink? You're good? Cool. Okay, let me just bring my laptop up. On a scale of 1 to 7, I know 7's an odd number, but the middle is the odd, if you know what I mean. So like there are 3 for agree, 3 for disagree, and 1 neutral, if you get what I'm saying. So, on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being agree, 7 being disagree, you regularly make new friends. Cool, I'll just plug that in. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. All of this is purely for your own benefit, just to see, self-improvement, see where you're at. It might explain some things if you've been having niggles or anything like that. So be completely honest, this information is not going to go anywhere between me and you, and I can say in the strictest confidence that I'm a huge professional. I cannot stand unprofessionalism. So let's proceed. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Okay, interesting. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. Cool? No. There are no judgments. You usually stay calm, even under a lot of pressure. For me, that is a pretty big disagree. Funny, isn't it, how everyone's different? At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. We can all be antisocial at times. Would you say you're introverted or extroverted? Yeah? Very interesting. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. Yeah, I would have to disagree. You are very sentimental. Scale of 1 to 7. Lovely. You like to use organising tools like schedules and lists. For me, that's a no-brainer. I've recently learned that I'm a bit of a control freak. So that's a big yes from me. But don't try and get the same results as me. I'll let you know mine at the end. Let's see the differences in us. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Wow, I feel personally attacked. How about you? Everyone is different. No harm in that. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. You've got some nerve on you, girl. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Well, just look at your past relationships. I feel like a lot of people have been in a toxic relationship before, but their heart and their head are telling different things. So what say you? Cool. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. I feel like that could be different daily. A day off I do absolutely nothing, but at work I'm very routine, very professional. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet? The people pleaser in me says no. You? Cool, no. I think as you get older you start to just be more comfortable in yourself, and that's a beautiful thing. You enjoy participating in group activities. 1 to 7. Okay, cool. They're quite open-ended, aren't they? I think it leaves a lot to be interpreted. So it's however you interpret it. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Do you like that? Or do you like a quite closed ending? Where you know what happens, they tell you what happens. They live happily ever after. Fair enough. Like I said, all confidential, just be as honest as possible for the best results. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. You good egg, you. You're interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I would say I personally would agree to that as well. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worst. You're quite an anxious person. That's totally fine. Totally fine. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Do you just like to sit in the back? Are you a bit of a wallflower, or are you a bit of a wolf? I don't know the opposite of a wallflower. But were you a leader, strong leader? You like it? You are definitely not an artistic type of person. No, I feel like some people either have it or they don't, to be honest. I think it's a natural gift. I mean, I've been told so many times that people can be taught to like draw and paint and things. Like, obviously it's a skill and you can practice your skill, but I feel like some people just have such an insane natural ability. It's such a hard field to get into. It's kind of like, what was the point for me? But I'm terrible at art. How are you? Yeah, I feel like school gave everyone you're either good or you're not good, and you know who the art teacher's favourites are. Wasn't me. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings. That's a very philosophical one. How do you feel about that? Should I put... Yeah? Okay. Next, you prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. See, if I don't get it out of the way first, I won't do anything all day. You enjoy watching people argue. That's quite a funny one, isn't it? Like, Love Island argue? Or like, your parents argue? How would you interpret that? You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Like to fade into the background, do you? Your mood can change very quickly. Agree or disagree? Cool. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling very personally attacked right now. Very personally attacked. I can't wait for the results. Love to compare. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. What would you say? Interesting. Very interesting. You've always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. All of these questions, I'm so sorry, I was not prepared for how deep they were going to get. Are you fascinated by what happens after death, if anything? I mean, who hasn't thought about it? What do you actually think happens after death? Let me know. I'm interested. Next question. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Again, a bit introverted perhaps, or more extroverted? Everyone's different. There's no right or wrong answers. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Oh yeah, to be fair, you know, when you meet those people and they just go off on a long tangent and you think that's never going to happen, why are they even thinking about it? Take a day off. You find it easy to empathise with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. Are you quite empathetic? Cool. You usually postpone finalising decisions for as long as possible. Do you put things off quite a lot? Interesting. Very interesting. We're very different people. Sorry, I'm just answering these in my head as we go as well. I can't help but I'm curious. I'm really sorry. We can discuss our results at the end. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Would you say that you stick to the decisions? Don't second question. But damn. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Some people love it, some people hate it. What do you think? You enjoy going to art museums. I feel like a lot of these questions are interlinked. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Again, are you quite an empathetic? 1 to 7. Next question. You like to have a to-do list for each day. Cool. You rarely feel insecure. You avoid making phone calls. Damn, this quiz is getting to my core, man. How are you feeling? You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. Again, it's the whole empathy, isn't it? I think. We're 70% done, just so you know. Are you doing okay? Need anything? Cool. Let me know. In your social circle, you are often the one that contacts your friends and initiates activities. God, heartbreaking, isn't it? If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. How do you react to that? Cool, interesting. I feel like I'm such a doer. And I'm such a, like, I love a to-do list, and if my plans get interrupted, I'll just be thrown off and then do nothing. Like, it's, thinking about that question, it seems really strange. It's just quite counterproductive for me, but we'll see at the end. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Damn, personally attacked, man. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Yes, you rarely do that. Do you do it often? You can be neutral to some of them if you have not no opinion, but if you're neutral, I suppose. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Be as honest as possible for the best results. Cool. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. I've got to say, when it's someone's fault, I just drop them right in it. Because when it's my fault, I own up to it. I feel like everyone should own up to their mistakes. But that's neither here nor there. It's what you think. This is your quiz. Alright, 80% there. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organised and consistent efforts. Cool, thank you. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it would take them to feel disappointed in you. I don't know what to say. Attacked. How do you feel? Attacked as well. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. God, hands down agree. What do you think? Sorry, am I influencing you? Oh, stop. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. Interesting. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. Cool, thank you. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. 1 to 7. Thank you. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. How are you feeling? How am I feeling? Do you know? You often feel overwhelmed. Perfect. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Sorry, what is wrong with me? You are very intrigued by things labelled as controversial. Amazing. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Thing is, I feel like I've really grown in the past year or so, because back in the day I would strongly agree to that. But now I just think the world is so selfish. You need to look after yourself. But maybe that's just me. It's tricky, very tricky. It depends what as well. You struggle with deadlines. A lot of these are organisation, aren't they? You feel confident that things will work out for you. That's kind of a nice optimistic one to end on. That was the last question. And then it's just asking for your gender there. It's optional. Cool, I'll put that in. Just a moment. Wow, So it's come up with this whole great long list. So, what your results are. There's 5 points, like imagine a star. So one is mind, one is energy, one is nature, one is tactics, and one is identity. So mind is either extroverted or introverted. You got 75% introverted, and that trait determines how we interact with our environment. Would you say that's fair? And then energy is either intuitive or observant, and this trait shows where we direct our mental energy. And you're pretty 50-50 on that one. So that's nice. I don't know. Depends how you feel about it. Nature. Thinking or feeling. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. So you're 53% thinking and 47% feeling. So pretty even split. I feel like that's nice. Tactics. Judging. Prospecting. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning and decision making. You're 68-32, judging to prospecting. An identity. Assertive or turbulent. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and our decisions. Wow. 21% assertive, 79% turbulent. I feel like that's not very good. But overall, if you're interested, it's called an architect personality. INTJA, INTJT. Wow, this website's insane. So you're rational, informed, independent, determined, curious, and original. They're your strengths. Your weaknesses. Arrogant, dismissive of emotions, overly critical, combative, socially clueless. In case you're wondering, I'm an architect. I think it was pretty obvious. That was me filling out the quiz, but I'll leave the link in the description. I would love it if you actually didn't just do it verbally to me. I would love it if you actually went on and did it and write what you are, because I'd love to know. I'll put the link in the bio, and yeah, comment with what you got. I feel like it's going to be super interesting. And can you actually put like your strengths and your weaknesses, and if you agree is the big one, please and thank you. Anyway, back to the role play. Thank you so much for coming in today. Your results will be with you so shortly, and that's all. If you'd like to wait in the waiting room, someone can assist you further and maybe book a next appointment, or get you a glass of water, some more information, anything like that. So thanks so much for coming in today. Thank you. Stay safe.